Welcome back, Aquarius, to this very pivotal month for you. Yes, we're going to cover the transits and then into what the eclipse and the next moon phase is going to be, as well as Pluto retrograde, then into your romance house. Without further ado, let's take a look at what is going on this month and how to make sense of it before we get into your zodiac sign. Now, we do have, as mentioned, a lunar eclipse in Scorpio that is going to be a full moon on the 5th of May 2023. It's going to be at 15 degrees. The next moon phase is going to be a new moon in Taurus, which is going to usher in a new chapter on the 19th of May 2023 at the critical degree, which is 28 degrees. Now, we are coming off the back end of the previous eclipse. Generally, we get them in sets. We did have the introduction of the next nodal cycle that will be coming in about July. And we are currently cycling out the most current north node and south node energy. So this being the south node of Scorpio. Now, we're also having Pluto moving retrograde, and it is in your zodiac sign. So for you personally, you can really be reflecting upon your past. This can be quite personal. It can be image your identity, how you feel to do with your body, the changes, things to do with intimacy, trust issues can come up. But it is a time in which you are going to reflect upon your future, but you nostalgically could grab onto the past and, feel a little bit uneasy, like you're out of your depth. Also, because we are having an eclipse in Scorpio, this can be quite a large situation where you think you're going to feel a little bit out of your depth, and there could be an old chapter leaving and a little bit of time that you're needing to hold on, but you could be pivoted into a new chapter of your life. Mercury also is going to be retrograde during this time until the 15th in the house of Taurus, which is quite Venusian. It is to do with our health, our wellness. There can be some changes and really trying to restructure your routine at home. You also could have a lot of things that you're clearing up and organizing on the home front with family, children, or other areas, but we'll tune into that in each individual section of your chart. Jupiter also is going to still be sitting in Aries until about the 15th, moving into the 16th, where it does transition over to the house of Taurus for its next year cycle. It will remain there from the 16th of May 2023 till about the 25th of May. I think it's May, could even be March. Don't quote me, look to the website. I've got the dates on there, but it's next year. It's a 1-year cycle. Venus is sitting in the house of Gemini. It will be there till the 7th of May, where it will transition over to the house of Cancer. While it's sitting in Gemini, we can be very intellectual. We can be wanting to really have those deep conversations, maybe enjoying looking at social media, communicating, socializing, shopping, really touching base with those more natural, independent things. But we also can crave individuals. So what it can bring through with this position is a bit of codependency and insecurities. You also can be really craving such. This also can be ushering in romantic connections, socialization, creativity for your zodiac sign. As it moves into the house of Cancer, it is a positive thing, but I have been really calling this the War of the Roses. This can be a time in which we can burn out, and you may need to look after your health a little bit more, especially where it does come to nurturing your body, feminine organs, as well as keeping in a structured routine, especially inside of a relationship. If you are feeling that, the give and take isn't there, it can bring tension up, but we will interpret that inside your zodiac sign. So really, I do see this month playing out with our eclipse, with our moon phase in two pockets of the month. The first part can be endings and new beginnings, big shocks and revelations. Definitely this month can bring gossip, and then manifestation of very large new chapters with the signature of Taurus. Grab a cuppa, sit back, let's have a look at the moon and how these moons and Pluto retrograding is going to affect you, and then into your romance house for singles and couples. at a personal level, as I mentioned, Pluto will be retrograding. So for you personally, you can be feeling as though you are going backwards to go forwards. You can be feeling a little bit out of your depth, maybe even feeling quite grounded and accepting that you are ready for this new chapter. You can also be outgrowing your clothes. Now, this can be like the Emperor's new clothes. It's almost like, okay, how am I showing up? What is my look? What is my style? What is my new role? For some of you, it can be because you are physically transitioning careers. For some of you, it can be that you're taking on a new chapter in your life. This can be going from teens to, older, or from being single to couple. Just identity as per se is shifting. I also would say this is a very personal chapter in your life. So the signature is really the house of self. You can have some deep revelations of maybe what you desired in your life, but maybe are over, maybe some of the things that you want to return to the table that you haven't quite addressed yet. And you can feel you're going a step forward and a step back. I do feel this is very psychic in nature, but I also feel you are evolving and you're shedding that old skin. You also, during this time, there could be crosswise misunderstandings in the first week as we're adjusting to it, but there also can be some very exciting chapters that you're very passionate about and very determined with. I do particularly see there is also, with this eclipse in Scorpio, the status of your life and or career is set to shift. If you are moving from one signature of a career to another, you can be going up a level. You also can be feeling that you don't resonate with certain dreams that you had, certain roles that you had, be it society standards, be it partnership standards, whatever it be, something spiritually is shifting. This also can bring a signature of blast from the past. But something to really be reviewed and reworked in your identity moving forward. For some of you, yes, most definitely it can be career, but there definitely is the purpose in life and, really going through a little bit of an existential crisis. It can be very temporary, but I do see this circumstance evolving and transforming. As we move to mid-month, there can be subjects that you can actually iron out. Some of you may be starting home-based businesses. This could be side hustles. Others of you, it could be that you're generating more of an income, maybe getting money coming from children, coming from side hustles and hobbies that you're doing. But I definitely see beautification of home. I do see that what you do, future tense, be it's caring for family, caring for mother, I also see this to be a value. Some of you, it could be blessings and gifts, but I also see larger homes. Now, there could be something quite big going on surrounding your home, your family, your siblings. That is also playing out around this time, but it is going to expand. Some of you could be studying from home and choosing to do such in the interim as we do transition through. This would be more a short course. And if that is something that you're looking at, it just does bode quite positively because Jupiter's there. I would say try to wait for the 15th. Definitely by this new moon, there can be a new chapter. So home could become in more of a sense of order. The things that you do at home for family, for yourself, or if you're becoming a parent, it can be transitioning. The relationship that you have with mother also can be transforming and changing. The other thing I do see is if you are studying, because Jupiter will be sitting there for about a year, it would more be a short course, short and sweet and to the point. You could be doing studying, upskilling. You also could be educating other people, but it would more be remotely for some of you. Let's have a look at your love zone. That's a mouthful. Now, with love, this month can bring the first week, I would say, you may be having some changes happen and it can be quite exciting. So it can be, I thought I was going to be single forever. And then suddenly somebody declares their love to you and you're like, okay, I was not expecting that. I definitely do see changes and there can be insecurities that do arise. This can be due to personal experiences of the past with the same individual, with another individual. Mars also and Venus's transit at the moment, it's going to be hot and heavy and romantic. You're going to be very much desiring socialization, talking, eating, hanging out with people. This also can actually provide you chance meetings. There also could be more romance in the first 2 weeks, but I do particularly feel from the 7th onwards, there can be a little bit of tension until about the 20th. So you're going to have to be patient with that. Some of you also could get a little bit run down, but you also could be very strict with yourself and say, okay, I want to get fit. I'm feeling quite emotional. There can be confidence issues that comes up. There can be passion that rises, especially for those of you that are directly in a relationship and you feel the give and take isn't there. As it does proceed forward, things can be quite spicy. And I do feel you'll be more determined and assertive and definitely more within your skin. This definitely can bring reconciliations in the month of May moving forward. If you do want me to look at your romance house in your zodiac sign and look at your birth chart or psychically tune in, you can go to the link directly below. Now, your career sector, as I mentioned, because of both Pluto retrograding and the eclipse happening in Scorpio, for some of you, could be transitioning careers. Others, it could be that you are starting side hustles or directly going to a different position within the same company. So it doesn't have to be a negative thing, but it can be if you felt very held back and you were trying to work through things, you were trying to move forward, or maybe studying from home, maybe having to care for a relative, whatever that be. I do think the tension points of that is going to kind of end. So something is wrapping up to liberate you to give you those new opportunities. As we do proceed further into the year, again, I do feel you could be reviewing this sector. But again, there could be study, there could be contracts, there could be small jobs that you are doing. But it also could be via technology or a different role in a contract. Okay. So it doesn't have to be that you lose a job and you're out in the cold. If there is that transition happening, this month would be a wonderful time to do that transition. So it could be, okay, after the eclipse, right, I'm really not happy where I am. Let's get those resumes out. Let's address the devil in the detail. Some of you could have communication from an old employer, especially if something hasn't been wrapped up. And it can be that it's actually addressed and it's finalized and it's done and dusted. But I definitely see a transition. And I do see this to be quite positive. Some of you also are directly saving for a physical home. And so, because you want to achieve that, it could be that you are battening down the hatches, saving and doing that transition. Overall, there can be some crosswise that does happen during the month, but I definitely see signing of contracts mid month and beyond. Now, where it does come to your wealth, you are going to be more strict and savvy with your budget. And I do feel, although Saturn tends to restrict things, it's there for a good reason. So it might be that you become more strict with how you use your money. You also are very direct in your mission and goal to receive things. You also can manifest things in very freely. It's almost like the art of manifestation, needing less, getting more. So it's quite weird how that happens, but it generally does. So these can be thinking that you need something and then somebody gives it to you. It's almost, for some of you, those things can fall on your lap, but I definitely do see some of you wanting to either A, tighten your belt or physically having to in that domain. The other thing I can say is, there does appear to be some values and some good things that are coming through. And I also feel as you are trying to get your equilibrium with this new status, these new positions, these new doors that are opening, you may need a couple of weeks just to adjust into it. Overall, I do see money being spent in the area of home. You also could get some benefits coming from home. So there could be your partnership income increases. There could be going into a partnership and money comes back into the home. There could be lottery wins and things to that degree. And also beautification and home-based businesses as a side hustle potential. Now, wellness, you will need to look after your wellness this month. There can be a bit of overindulgence. It can be a bit fussy as well. You also may feel spiritually that you really want somebody around you. This can be for comfort, socialization, and fun and play. I do feel it'll be there for a little bit, but it is going to shift away. And it can be that you're having to really batten down the hatches and get things done. There can be some emotions that arise mid-month, but I also feel there can be some possibilities of pregnancies or births during the month of May. But I feel if that's going to be so, it would more be in the first 2 weeks. So practice safety in that department if that is not something that you're wanting to occur. Other than that, I also see there to be a feeling that you are wanting to get your body back in order. And this can be a more lean, mean fighting machine and to feel more confident with your own skin. I do feel some of you could start jogging or running or changing your image. This can be your style and your hair. Definitely with Pluto retrograding, some of you also can find that you just don't resonate with certain things. Now, as to your wealth, I still do see Lady Luck coming there, and I think it's going to come in a myriad of ways. I definitely see some bonuses coming through. I do feel, particularly if you are getting quite triggered, it's a really great month to have coaching. This can either be talking to some spiritual friends, going to a professional, entering new chapters. Some of you are going to have lots of surprises, so be open to such. Take care, beautifuls. I will see you through the month. As I said, information for personal bookings is directly below. Otherwise, I will see you next month or online on YouTube for our twin flame updates.